Hi, everybody. This is Skywolf again, Cyber Shaman. I'm here with some new tools and techniques, technology to help you. Many of us here are empathic, or rather, we're sensitive. And to explain the science behind it, empathy is mainly because of mirror neurons and focus. Whatever you see or whatever you focus on, you experience. And when you're focusing on someone else, or their story, or their energies, your nervous system begins wiring itself to be in sync with theirs. We're humans. Our greatest power is love. We'll do more for others than we will for ourselves a lot of times. And so we want to connect. And to connect, we reach out and synchronize with someone. And in doing so, our nervous systems become entangled. And during that time, we're also vulnerable for receiving that which may not serve us. It's a great thing. It sets us apart. It's a wonderful thing to feel love for someone else or to ride along the bliss and passions that they're riding. The flip side is that there are states that can go pretty deep and dark, can pull us in with it, and then we're brought to a lower place. It's no one's fault. It's a human thing. We all do it. We all use the technologies of stories and dreams, the oldest shamanic technologies. And today, I feel inspired to share this with you. How to protect yourself. And it's not that you're under attack. It's more like how to keep yourself in you, centered, present, powerful, and more divine. So I'm going to share with you some of the technologies I developed or came up with or was given to me by the spirits because I don't really know and there's no way to know. Did it come from outside or did it come from within? So here are three things I'm going to share with you. Two of them are spells, word-based things. And as you know, what I call words and word phrases and patterns like that, I call spells. Because when we learn our language, we're taught how to spell our words. So that being said, I want to share with you the first one. When you're in the middle of hearing a story or experiencing it, your focus is drawn to them. Our eyes focus on a point. We have two eyes, and yet they come to a point. And wherever we focus on, we exist, we experience. Where focus goes, energy flows. Our energy, we validate it, we see it, we witness it. However, whatever we focus on, we experience because we put ourselves there. And when someone is telling us a story or explaining something that's going on, which is a story, and I'm not knocking anybody for telling these stories, we all do it again. So I suggest being mindful of the stories we tell in the language because the first listener is ourselves. So anyway, back to how to protect yourself, how to stay more within yourself. So as they're telling a story, you get drawn in. You focus on them, you focus in them, you focus on their words. Their words become louder, become more powerful, become more influential in your mind and in your patterns. How many times have you listened to someone's story or explained something? And it could be something that, like they had a bad day. For example, yeah, I just got late and I had a traffic jam and just every light was going against me. I just wanted to get home. I just want to get home and order a pizza and just relax for a change. I had a hard day. And how did you feel when I told you that story? Were you drawn into it? Did you feel emotions? So here's the first spell to protect. When you're in the middle of that, I want you to ask these questions strongly in your mind. Think them out loud strongly. If you say these out loud, it's going to have much more profound effect. Words have power when you say them. The louder and the more intense you say them, the more of an effect it will have. However, I do like stealth tech and giving you the ability to use this without any social awkwardness or weird looks. So that being said, the first spell is this. Ask these two questions powerfully, as if you're demanding an answer. First, are these my emotions? Whose emotions are these really? So again, are these my emotions? Whose emotions are these really? And you'll get an answer. A question asked demands an answer, calls an answer, attracts an answer. And none given, your mind will fill the void and give an answer. So again, be careful on the questions you ask. Choose carefully and make them work for you. So again, whose emotions are these really? Is the crux of it. Are these my emotions? Whose emotions are these really? By asking that, it forces you to disconnect and evaluate. Are these mine? Are these emotions that I'm feeling actually mine? And if the answer is no, the next question helps you further disconnect and distance yourself from them by separating, acknowledging that in your mind and nervous system, which is, whose are these really? Because they're being transmitted. We project upon each other all the time. It's just how we are. Not many of us are trained to come back to ourselves, and not many of us, that set of people, can stay within ourselves. It's training and practice. And practice is a practice, and the best practice starts from a relaxed position. So again, what's the spell? Are these my emotions? Whose emotions are these really? Next one, spell number 2. Is this my story? Whose story is this really? Practice. Is this my story? Is this my story? Whose story is this really? This helps you figure out, is it really your story? Most of the time, the answer is going to be no, it's not yours because you're listening. And if it is, you can change it, and that'll be another video. So, again, practice. Is this my story? Whose story is this really? Play with it, test it out. So when you ask those questions, it forces you, compels you to come back to yourself here and then evaluate from your position of power, from your place of divine strength within you, present, centered, focused on being present. And you ask the question, you get an answer. And then you can re-engage with new awareness of, oh, okay, I can bring my focus back to them knowing that that's not my story. And you can better be present without being drawn in to where they're leading you. And it's not their fault. They don't know what they're doing. Most people don't. However, this is a chance for us to become aware. As I spread this and share this, now you have more awareness. So the next time you tell stories, you may consider about the kind or the message, and maybe why. Because people will be pulled into your story. When you tell a story, you pull people into trance. Stories induce trance. And right now, even hearing these words and stories, part of you is letting go and coming into trance. I'm here to serve, and hopefully you allow these words to reach where they need to reach for your benefit, for your best outcome. So what are the 2 spells? Are these my emotions? Whose emotions are these really? Is this my story? Whose story is this really? 2 spells. And the third thing I was going to give you is an action. So, focus. Remember that? So when you have a focal point, that's where you put yourself. And so, you ever notice that when you look at nature, your focus actually diffuses or widens? Because you want to take it all in. And to do that, you don't focus on a point. You kind of step back and come back to yourself and take it all in. When you're in that state, you're not focused on anything. You're just simply present. That's why going to nature or taking in a landscape relaxes you. It relaxes your eyes, your prefrontal cortex region. Thoughts tend to quiet. And the thinking that goes on right here tends to go to the back, and you can just be and be more present. So why am I telling you this? Because to achieve the same state, triggering it, all you have to do is relax your eyes. So instead of coming to a point, just come back to yourself and just relax the eyes. You're going to have like a little bit of a double vision effect. However, you can play with it. You can kind of make the person's face kind of blend together enough so they become a triclops. You'll see three eyes. You can separate it some more. You might be able to pick one of the two faces you want to focus more on. One of the two faces may call to you to have your vision, to have your gaze upon it, to validate it. Whatever you see, witness, and put the focus on seeing, you validate, you make it more real. Everything that comes into reality comes because a consciousness, a will, witnessed and kept its divine gaze upon it, further cementing it into reality. This is how thoughts become real. This is how ideas become physical manifestations. So when you're talking with someone or listening, just keep your eyes relaxed. And I'm doing it now. Now, if you can sense it, cool. If you notice the change in how my eyes went, cool. Test it out yourself, practice it. And so I'll tell you the story as I come into myself. So I had a really hard day. I just wanted to get home. Every light was against me, and I was late because my boss wanted me to stay even longer. I don't know why that happens. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm just giving and giving, and I just wanted to get home. And I was stuck in traffic for an hour and a half, and it was just hell. I just wanted to get home and relax, order a pizza, have some root beer, just decompress and let go. It's all I wanted. And so you can repeat this video. And as you do, just test out. Are these my emotions? Whose emotions are these really? Is this my story? Whose story is this really? And as you're listening to the story I tell you, emotionally, relax the eyes and then listen and witness and notice. Do you feel different? Do you feel less drawn in or more drawn in? Do you feel less outside yourself or more within yourself? Notice what you notice. In this world, there's a lot more chaos and a lot more uncertainty and a lot more feelings pent up and need to be vented. So people are going to be a bit more intense. And with things changing, chaos, conflict, contrast. It's an opportunity to see things more clearly. At the same time, people are going to be venting stuff and experiencing emotions. If you want to be there for your loved ones and yourself, practice these techniques, this technology, so that way you're more empowered. You can be a better leader. You can inspire greater action. You can be more you, the powerful you that you are, and stay in a state of more love, more compassion, more inspiration. I hope this helps you. May these words serve you. And if this is useful to you, pass it on. Thank you so much. Thank you and thank you. Love and be loved, now and always. Beloved. Until next time.